All right, time now for our rants and raves, and I'm going to start with you, Mike.
I have a rant. It was hard to find anything humorous in this week because it was such a serious event. But I have a rant for the knuckleheads on Twitter who showed again the comic mistakes that can be made in a fast-moving crisis. Take a look here. Politico reporter Ryan Lizza posted a photo Wednesday afternoon on Twitter with the message, "Via Getty, one of the rioters steals a podium from the Capitol." Now, via Getty means it's a credit for the photo to Getty Images, the big conglomerate. So now take a look at some of the people who tweeted replies. They thought the guy's name was Via Getty. One person said, "I want Via Getty and everyone else who participated in this domestic terrorism at the Capitol today arrested." One other said, "Now that we know his name is Via Getty, why don't they just go back to his house and arrest him and get Nancy Pelosi's podium back?" Now, Ryan Lizza had to clarify that it was a Getty Image credit. Again, nothing funny about Wednesday and what happened, but it just shows on Twitter.
Never seen that term before. It's everywhere. I know.
This little game of telephone.
Yeah, it's really bad. Really dumb. Okay, Dan.
Well, via the Fox Business Channel, recently Maria Bartiromo was interviewing somebody who she thought was the new chief executive of a major pork production facility. But, well, let's listen.
Joining me right now is the CEO of Smithfield Foods, Dennis Organ.
Our industry poses a serious threat in effectively bringing on the next pandemic.
As it turned out, an animal rights activist had played a hoax on the show and gotten on as this big pork executive.
Oh my God.
And, well, he took advantage of the fact that everybody was on vacation for Christmas. and later in the show, Bartiromo came back and corrected the record and said, "We were punked." Yeah, I guess they were.
Couldn't have happened to a better person because she's one of those, rabid Antifa, Trumpite, conspiracy theorists. And I'm still waiting for all the proof of the fraudulent election. She said she gave everybody a platform to get. So
that's such a stunning lack of oversight, editorial oversight, and it's on her too.
Yeah, no.
Oh, of course it's on her.
I'm sure. Yeah. All right, Adam.
I have a rave for Charmin Sacchetti, the political reporter for WCVB, who has this incredible knack that you see if you're out at press conferences with her on a regular basis or a semi-regular basis. She has this great knack for pushing public officials just hard enough and in just the right tone to get them to say things that are revelatory and at times kind of embarrassing and don't make them look very good. She just did it with the new Democratic Speaker of the Massachusetts House, Ron Mariano, in an interview that she did with him recently. Let's take a look at a snippet.
How do you think the vaccine rollout is going here in Massachusetts?
I have no idea.
Are you looking into it at all, or?
I just got here.
Will you be looking into it?
Well, if it's necessary, obviously.
Ron Mariano, of course, has been in the House for about a zillion years. Later on in that package that Charmin wrote, she went on to say something like, Mariano says healthcare is one of his passions. And it was just delivered perfectly on the heels of this inexplicable comment. She's really good at her job, and this was a especially fun moment to watch her work.
Adrian Walker wrote about that this week, too. I pinged him a note just to say thank you for doing that. He was quoting Charmin Sacchetti also. It's like, this is an embarrassment. And frankly, I feel embarrassed for our state that this is the best we can do for Speaker of the House. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but I mean that sincerely. It's an embarrassment. And it's not right. I mean, this is not to quote Howie Carr here, but this is hackdom.
There's all these people. I read profiles of Mariano when he came into office. A lot of people in the legislature love him. They decided to make him Speaker, but that was not a moment where he covered himself in glory.
All right, Callie.
I have a tempered rave for a guy named Ted Williams, who was a digital producer at the Charlotte Observer, which is a pretty well-known newspaper, but in 2015 realized that local news was just being shrunk and shrunk and shrunk, so he started his own entity called the Charlotte Agenda. Got funding from memberships and from advertising, like the old-fashioned way. Did very, very, very well, and just got bought by Axios, which is a big, outfit. So my rave is tempered because I don't want Axios to go in there and take over over the thing and then make it less than the local organ that it has been. So
good for him.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
Thanks. All right, well, finally tonight, I have a rave for New York Magazine, which actually has also gotten a little bit of criticism, but it printed a very lengthy piece about the coronavirus called What If? And basically suggesting that it was possible that this was an intentionally made virus, not intentionally released, but that it had been made in this lab in Wuhan. And the guy who wrote the piece has done a lot of research about biotechnology and made a good case that this is a possibility. It's definitely worth the read. It's lengthy, but very, very interesting.